Game shot.
Lovely stuff. James Wilson does break the Huybrechts throw and goes 1-0 up.
Game on.
Well, when you're playing well, Dan, they are the things that you do. You only need 2 darts for 62. Things like 84, 81, you just pick them off so easily. And I think the biggest strength of the game of James Wilson is the scoring, because when he gets his rhythm right, like he did September, October last year, it was just predictable what he was going to do. He was so good, especially in Risa. I was very, very impressed with him in Risa.
Yeah, the International Darts Open back in September, he made the semi-finals there. That came in a little run where we had 3 consecutive semi-finals. We see he does have this issue, James Wilson, where he gets a lot of darts just collide into ones that are already in the board and just don't stick. But yeah, made a final of a Pro Tour event, 3 consecutive semi-finals. We had the
140
run to the quarter-finals of the European Championship. That's his best run in a big TV event in the PDC.
He's in line to make his debut at Blackpool this year, which is
100
momentous for his career.
What was it like for you as a player making your debut at the Winter Gardens?
I was playing against Steve Beaton.
Wow.
And he dispatched me 10-3.
44.
It was over before it begun. But if you're going to lose to someone, you might as well lose to someone like Steve. He was a gentleman in defeat when I've beaten him.
45.
And a gentleman as a victor. But I think the Winter Gardens as a venue to play darts is great. I think the practice room is too hot.
Yeah, you're
it's
not the
too
first
small.
person to say
I think
that.
it should be moved to a different part of the building. But again, that's my own opinion. But it's historic, and I think
140
in a growing game like darts, where you've got new venues and larger venues, having some history and places where it all began is very, very important.
Well, I think a lot of the dart players will talk to you about how important Blackpool is to them, as Wilson not quite able to find
128.
a second treble 20 that would have given him a dart for the leg and a 2-0 lead, but Huybrechts to break straight back. I mean, nothing flash here from Huybrechts. Standard route, 20 for tops. Tops.
40.
Ooh, wild one.
Well, that was a 7-iron when he needed an 8-iron. That really one did fly out. And as the temperature gradually rises in this arena, you will get the odd dart like that. James Wilson having to adjust slightly for this one. Now he's got to adjust a lot to double 2.
6. Ronnie, you require 40.
Well, I don't think he expected that. I think he expected to hit that second dart in double 4. Because it was a perfect lie.
Down for double 10. Ooh, in danger of busting that one.
20.
And maybe that was just staring at him and made that last dart at the double 10 a little bit trickier. But James Wilson in the madhouse for 2-0. Well, he rushed that second one. Like the lie, the first one seemed to rush the second one, was nowhere near, but the third one finds its mark. It is 2-0.
He didn't panic, did he? Because after that second one, you'd have thought, where did that come from? But with 2 legs in, and it looks like Ronnie Huybrechts has had the stuffing knocked out of him already. He's got time to recover. But this is the kind of situation that James Wilson relishes.
121.
He likes to front run. He likes to go at his own pace, which is quite quick when he gets going. And he won't look back.
Mentioned Wilson making his debut in Blackpool for the
81
World Match Play. Was, of course, Blackpool where he won the World Trophy with the BDO. Won that one, the Zuidendam Masters as well.
140.
2013-2014 helped propel him up the rankings to the #1 spot before he switched over to the PDC, picked up his tour card at the start of 2015.
You got to think that his upturn in form in the last year and a half or so may have something to do with spending so much time with Daryl Gurney. It's got to be infectious. I mean, look at the Rob Cross, Lee Bryant effect. They roomed together. They both played well through the Q school at the beginning of the year, and obviously Rob played brilliantly on the Challenge Tour last year. But it just seems to me that happens now and again when you've got a stablemate that you really click with. You spend some time with them, and their confidence
130.
exudes into yourself. And I think that's happening with James Wilson and Daryl Gurney.
I'm not sure how much those guys practice together. I assume they do a lot when they are rooming together from the same management stable, of course. But when you've got somebody who is on the up,
Only require 145.
it's got to be very positive, hasn't it? It's got the whole atmosphere between the pair of them. And that's got to be a good thing, you would think. And for 17s.
87. Change require 138.
138 is the Della. Just like you said there, Dan. There's only one way to go.
That ain't it.
That isn't it.
78. Ronnie require 58.
I don't think he's going to go treble 18 for double 2 here. Because Ronnie, when he's playing well, hits tops with alarming regularity.
Ronnie Huybrechts.
And there it is.
Well, I think it's James to throw first. Game on.
I remember when Ronnie Huybrechts had a really good run at the European Championships. Took out Phil Taylor that day. And what he showed me that day was a resilient,
42.
aggressive game that was incredibly watchable because he just didn't care who he was playing. I remember when I first met Kim Huybrechts a few years ago, and I asked him about his brother, and he said, "Oh, Ronnie, he's much better than I am." And he still firmly believes that, I think.
It was his first year in the PDC.
74.
2013, made the semi-finals of the European Championship. So the European Championship has been the stage on which both of these guys have produced their best runs to date. Not saying they might not go on and better those runs.
What has the House of Huybrechts done for Belgian darts in the last few years, though? Because I remember the first World Cup, hosted by the PDC in 2010. Belgium had Rocco Myers and Patrick Buelan as their two representatives.
140.
Then all of a sudden the Huybrechts come along and they take Belgian darts into a place that was only ever seen by Eric Claret. So they can pat themselves on the back and give themselves a lot of credit, because now you've got other people following them
57.
who are doing great things, like Mike De Decker, like Dimitri van den Berg.
Yeah, we saw Kenny Nyans make his appearance on the Euro Tour for the first time this year. As well, there was a generation of young Belgian darters queuing up, but that is James Wilson's first maximum. Leaves him 65, and a timely one, because anything less than the max there, and Ronnie Huybrechts really fancy his chances of stealing this leg.
James requires 65.
And levelling up at 2 apiece. He still has a chance, Huybrechts. He's not out of this leg. 25 for tops. Oh, well, okay. Simple enough. 20 for tops. One dart.
25. Ronnie, you require 100.
Needed at least one more.
Where's he going to go? 19s? Yeah, he's looking down. So 19s it will be. He wants 3 more of them with this second dart to give himself a shot to double. James Wilson comes back for tops.
50.
And a 2-leg advantage.
You require 40. Game shot on the fourth.
Great shot into the bed. Doesn't mess around.
I think it's Ronnie to throw first. Game on.
And the picture that we saw there just before he threw that dart, it was pure focus from James Wilson, and Ronnie Huybrechts just almost the opportunity
60.
at double 16.
Well, I mean, all of these guys, yourself included, if you've got those checkouts at just over 100, and you get 2 darts at the same bed, and you only need one of them to go in the treble to give you a dart to leg, you back yourself to at least get that dart at some point. If you don't, you feel like it's a failure. You may hit a treble with your last dart and leave yourself 3 clear when you return to the board, but you may not get the chance to return to the board.
If you don't give yourself a chance at a double, it's simply not good enough. In a professional 2017 sense, if you don't shoot a double 16 there, it's not good enough, because it was proven because James Wilson went up and won the leg. In previous times, he may have got another shot, but it's a totally different game now, boys and girls. It's lethal. There's a lot of money on the line.
96.
People put in the practice and they don't. I think that's the difference between the James Wilson of now and maybe 3 years back, when in his first
57.
PDC season, he was making a lot of mistakes. He was missing doubles, but you can see from his walk on, he's comfortable now.
Yeah.
He just feels at home.
I've talked to James about this, and he will readily admit
55.
that even coming over, as he said, he was not prepared for what it was going to be like day in, day out. He knew that if he was going to be making the big TV tournaments, he'd be up against,
44.
The biggest tournaments. He'd be up against,
44.
The biggest. But he said just the day in, day out grind of those leisure centre darts in Wigan and Barnsley and places like that. People are chucking 100+ averages at you, and you can't afford to make a mistake, any kind of mistake,
60.
because you get punished. Those shots like that, if you don't give yourself a dart for the leg with a 108 check out, they're just going to take one out themselves. And he wasn't ready for it, and he couldn't understand how he was going to raise his ball
140.
to be able to do what he's done on occasion over the last few months. But he has found a way to do it. And R.Huybrechts find a way to take out 130. It's just got trickier. But that's a great dart. Bullseye.
105.
Well, if he'd have hit that bullseye, that would have been a worldy
120.
finish, because that second dart was nothing short of amazing. Single 20 for double top. Little shift to the right. Is it 4-1?
100.
It's not.
Ronnie, you require 25.
It could well be, though. R.Huybrechts has got to polish off this 25. 9 and double 8, it will be. That's right in the middle of the 9. That's a good sign. Will it be 3-2?
17.
James Wilson does come back for
James
10s.
require 20.
Problems for R.Huybrechts here. 3-1 down to James Wilson. Make
James
that
on the fifth
4-1.
leg. James Wilson.
James Wilson
Sixth leg is
has
James
not
to
been
throw
particularly
first.
deadly at taking out
Game on.
the big checkouts, but he's being allowed back to the board, and he's taken out first dart on a number of occasions, and usually slap bang in the middle of the bed.
86.
There is still a lot of room for improvement in this display from James Wilson, but 4-1 up against a very dangerous opponent in R.Huybrechts, and he'll consider the first half of this job done.
140.
Unfortunately, half a job is not enough.
I think looking at this afternoon's session, it wouldn't be unfair of me to say that this was probably the best match of the afternoon.
60.
I thought it looked the most likely to produce a top display, but I have to say, I'm not sure whether we'll see anybody surpass the performance level we saw from Jamie Bain earlier. Because that
134.
was excellent. Average just shy of the 100. Had he hit some finishes a couple of darts earlier, he did miss a few doubles, but had he hit a couple more
50.
a little bit sooner, we'd have been talking 105, 106 average territory.
Jamie, of course, now a stablemate of James Wilson.
Yeah.
Does make you wonder, doesn't it? 'Cause
128.
what MDA have done for James Wilson, what they've done for Daryl Gurney, what are they going to do to Jamie Bain?
Well, we
Stay tuned,
shall
folks.
see. Well,
105. Ronnie, you require 99.
99 from R.Huybrechts, but no need to do anything fancy here because Wilson not on a finish. So this will do very nicely for double 16.
Game
Yeah,
shot, the
lovely
sixth
stuff,
leg.
R.Huybrechts. 12 dart leg,
Seven legs and Ronnie to
99
throw
check
first.
out.
Game on.
Breaks straight back for 4-2.
Well, 99, it's a difficult check out. It might as well be 119 because it's not a two-darter. You need a treble, a single, and a double. And in a
96.
true old-fashioned way, he did it with precision and class. None of the double top stuff going on there. That was just really good, clean stuff.
Yeah, that's it. When we talk about Ronnie Huybrechts being an old-school dart player, that's the sort of thing. He takes the standard old-school routes for things. There's none of this, you know, no sort of fancy new ways of thinking. You can say that's a downside or an upside. You know what you get with Ronnie Huybrechts? Old-school, classy darts.
None of this treble 18, double 19 stuff that you see Michael Smith doing.
Yeah. None of this.
97.
It's the old Rod Harrington, treble 15 tops that he did at the Macklay. Yeah, I blame Harrington for all this nonsense way back in the day.
I blame Harrington and I blame Manley.
Well, I blame
Fancy
Manley
going
for
tops
lots.
bull on a 9-darter. I mean, who does that?
174.
And there we see Ronnie Huybrechts moving over to the 18s to make sure he left himself a finish, but firing in a big 3 treble visit anyway.
55. Ronnie
Back
Huybrechts,
into this.
131.
That 99 checkout might just have galvanised the mindset of Ronnie Huybrechts. Because he looks more focused now.
He does. Wilson is nowhere in this leg right now.
57.
Just the 57 scored, but Wilson needing 2 trebles just to get to any kind of a finish. That's
Just
not
lost
gonna
his
happen.
range a little bit, hasn't he?
47.
Yes, and underlined by straying into the
74.
skinny bit of the 7 there. So Ronnie Huybrechts to win this one at an absolute canter. 20 for tops. And the Rebel
34.
will return, but he is on the comeback trail. His average is now crept up to 88. 7 points clear of James Wilson.
60. Ronnie Huybrechts, 40.
Double top it is. All of a sudden, he'll only be 1 leg behind. Got plenty of time to work with. But he wants to get rid of it now.
Game
That's
to
good because it
7th
doesn't
leg.
plant
Ronnie
the seed of doubt in your mind
Huybrechts.
about hitting your
James to throw
doubles.
First. Game on.
He's got rid of it. And he's back in the match. All of a sudden, his demeanour is so different to 2 legs ago.
A bit of purpose in that stride
56.
to the back of the stage there, wasn't there?
Bit of swagger.
Ronnie Huybrechts knows he's in this game now. At 4-1 down, he might have thought it was slipping away from him. Still work to do, though. There you see.
60.
Wilson's average is... He's had a poor couple of legs, to be fair, James Wilson. He's lost them both by a considerable distance, and that's dragged his average down.
100.
But he's backfiring again now. Second maximum.
Well, if you were to show James Wilson these statistics, especially the first 9, because of the scoring power that he actually has, he'll be horrified. But the thing is, he's still 4-3 in front. So
78.
all is not lost.
Certainly isn't. And just a hold of throw here where he's already thrown a 180 in this leg.
90.
Interesting thinking there from James Wilson. I don't think Ronnie Huybrechts would have ever done that.
No. A very un-Ronnie-like visit.
59. What
What this leg has done is given the impetus to James Wilson and will put him 1 leg away. And it forces Ronnie
135.
Huybrechts to have the most purple of purple patches to get the W. It makes it very unlikely because James Wilson in this leg has been brilliant.
He has been excellent in this leg. And after 2 very poor legs from James Wilson, it shows some
58. James
mental
Huybrechts,
strength
40.
to fight back and put a leg like this in, because it looked like Ronnie Huybrechts was in the ascendancy, but Wilson surely can work his way in from there. Too far. Double 10.
20.
Not the end of the world, but it's Ronnie Huybrechts' turn to have a leg where he's only halfway down from 501. With his opponent having already missed darts for the leg. He's put a dent in it, though.
He wants another one. Gets another one.
140.
Just in case.
You require 20.
Double 10. For a 5-3 lead. To put him 1 leg away.
Game shot on the
1
8th
leg away he
James
is.
Wilson. 9th leg is running to throw first.
He's the favourite to go on and play the favourite of the people here in Austria, Mensah Suljovic. I noticed in that last leg, Dan, that the rhythm of James Wilson was quite fast on the scoring, but the nearer he got to the doubles, the slower he got. I don't know whether that's
140.
a conscious thing he does, I just feel that when he gets his rhythm right, he's brilliant. But when it breaks up, his game can break down.
90.
That looks a little bit quick. You could see there that he's gone the wrong side of that initial first dart.
$100.
I think Ronnie Huybrechts knows that he needs 2 treble visits now to really pile the pressure on the jam-filled biscuit. No copyright
60.
infringement in the commentary box.
That's wow. Not sure that the biscuit people have come for him as yet.
Is there like jam-filled biscuits in Austria?
I've no idea. I'm not sure what the Austrian delicacy is. We'll have to ask Mensur, or the many thousands of R.J. rods that are here today.
97.
What did you put on social media earlier? R.J. Rods Assemble.
That's, yeah.
Is that the name of the movie?
They have done. They've assembled here in Vienna, and they'll all be here this evening.
Ronnie require 164.
Roby John, Roxy James, and Rusty Jake for the very first time on the Euro Tour, as Ronnie Huybrechts looks at the 164, which I don't think he'd go for anyway. Ooh. Well, this could open the door.
78.
Good last dart.
That's what you call a good 78. You hit the treble with the last dart. It's a good one. Hit it with the first one. It's a bad one.
100.
James Wilson desperately wanted a 140 there. That would have left him 71. But 86 is looking very doable now. 2 darts in hand for double 16. Adjustment, because he can't see the bed.
70.
And that's why. Good camera angle shows you
111.
the obscuring of that double 16. But this is for the match.
111 for James Wilson. The biggest checkout he's taken out so far is 62. That was in the very first leg. Treble 17. He's had trouble with these 3-dart combos.
91.
And it continues. One match dart missed by James
16.
Wilson. He has been very good at coming back to the board and nailing the double first dart. But will Huybrechts allow him back? He may do. Double 4. But he doesn't do. Ronnie Huybrechts closes the gap to just one leg. This is where Huybrechts needs to break.
Well, it's a workmanlike game, isn't it? Neither guys will remember this game for the right reasons.
100.
But sometimes you just got to grind and grind and grind.
Well, Huybrechts knows if he can produce another 12-dart leg, as he did when he started that fight back in the middle of the game, it could well be enough to suddenly make him favourite again. He would throw for the match in the last leg if he can somehow find a way of winning this one, and a ton 40 to start.
100.
Well, we do know that the Huybrechts boys are good fighters. And the averages at 86 and 83, they know they can play better than this, and they have done recently. But sometimes you get embroiled in a game like this where you've just got to find something within yourself
100.
to get over the line. And the fist pump for a ton shows exactly what they're doing right now.
Yeah, you can see Ronnie Huybrechts, not for the first time, muttering some Belgian curse under his breath
81.
after his first and second darts, but saves himself with that last one, and he has a real chance now. Bit of a blocker dart, but he finds his way through to the treble 20 again.
100.
And he is down to a finish after 3 visits in this leg. James Wilson under pressure. What he wouldn't give for a third maximum, James Wilson. Oh, but he wants to stay on the 20s.
Has to.
Oh,
45.
James Wilson, it's a criminal
Ronnie
error.
require 161.
Criminal error from James Wilson. Doesn't stay straight, and it means that Ronnie Huybrechts is not forced to use the bullseye route. He knows he's got 6 darts from 161.
He's going to stay up top and be smart. Treble 19 now.
99.
That's all right. Because now he has the option of leaving double 16, which he really likes.
100.
Well, this time James Wilson decided to stay straight, even when he had 95. But 62 points separate Ronnie Huybrechts from an 11th leg. Double 16. Wipes his hand on his trousers to make sure no perspiration. Double 16. Yes, it's there.
Ronnie Huybrechts.
Belgium 5, England 5.
First. Game on.
Customary fist pump. And we go all the way, and James Wilson is sick to his stomach.
It was a 62 check out in the very first leg that got James Wilson a break of throw. He has led at every stage from that point until now, where a 62 check out from Ronnie Huybrechts to break back has levelled the scores. Throwing for the match in this deciding leg.
121.
Look at him, he's getting even more animated. It's like Kim Huybrechts up there.
I do wonder where Kim got his aggressiveness from. Well,
57.
there it is, ladies and gentlemen. He got it from his brother.
A couple of legs have taken more than 6 visits to the board. The vast majority have taken 5 or 6. There's that 112 darter from Ronnie Huybrechts in the 6th leg. That just stopped James Wilson getting too far away from him. Had that gone 5-1, you would think it would have been curtains, but Ronnie Huybrechts has
125.
battled his way back into this.
128.
Very interesting indeed. Huybrechts with 2 huge 125s. What did we get for a 135? That's it.
135.
And the intensity's still there. He is mounting the pressure on James Wilson. He needs everything.
And he's not got everything, not in this visit. That means that Ronnie Huybrechts has James Wilson right where he wants him. He has never led in this game, Ronnie Huybrechts. But double top. Oh, he's
90.
This entire leg, he has gone 2 darts right down the middle, often in the treble, and then 1 wide, either in the 5s or the 1s.
Well, I'm signalling wide in the commentary box here. That means he gets that dart again.
Ronnie, you require 30.
And he does get another dart. He actually gets 3 more. 30 for the match. Double 15. Can he sneak it in, Dan? Yes, he can.
Ronnie Huybrechts never in the lead until the very last moments. A last leg decider, and the Belgian is through to the next round to face Mensur Suljovic, the top player from Austria, the former BDO world #1. James Wilson, the jammy dodger, not so lethal biscuit today, misses a match dart, beaten by Ronnie Huybrechts. We've got 2 more games for you this afternoon. The Wanderer Wayne Jones takes on Christian Callinger, as Callinger looks to join his countryman Zoran Lurchbacher in the 2nd round. But right now it is Kim Viljonen, the man who has been dominating the Scandinavian tour, taking on the man who has dominated